before we wrap up today's all the things you've learned today, let's actually write down a summary of what are the things we've learned. So we actually introduce, give the first concept to forces. The first thing is we learned what is a force. Okay, so you want to learn what's the definition, and this is probably the simplest definition of all times. It's just a push and a pull, right? You can look at your notes for that. I'm not going to rewrite it. And then we learned how does it affect motion, right? And from there we learned Newton's first law and second law. Okay, you can look up the correct wordings of those. So learn the wordings. So if you have a short answer question that asks what is Newton's first law, you know how to answer that. What's Newton's second law? You know how to answer that. Newton's first law, basically, it says that if there's no net external force, these are important keywords, no net external force, then the object will either remain at rest if it's initially at rest, or it will remain in constant motion if it's initially moving. Okay, Newton's second law says that the force, if there is a net external force that is present on the object, it will create an acceleration that is proportional to that force. If you like, in an exam, you can also write down just F equals to ma, but make sure if you do that, you need to label what is F, what is m, what is a, right? This F stands for frog or a friction, you know. You need to tell that stands for the net external force. M stands for the mass, A stands for acceleration. Okay, and then we looked at different types of force, right? And in particular, we learned how to classify them into non-contact forces and contact forces, like that, right? And non-contact force, basically, there's only gravity that we're gonna be concerned ourselves with in this course. And contact forces, we have a list of them, but all of them are basically pushes or pulls, right? And the specific ones, if it's a push by something, you have a special name for it. A pull by the string, it's called tension, etc. Right? And finally, we learn about free body diagrams, and we will see the power of these guys in the next lecture. But it's basically a way to to graphically write down all the possible forces and the correct possible forces on the object. And next time we'll see how does this affect different types of motion. So have a good day and see you tomorrow.